today. Oh my god, what is that?
Are those the Powerpuff Girls? They're all so cool.
The girls made a fatal error.
Oh my god, what is that?
Oh, buckle up, because this is gonna be insane. 3 years after the cursed live-action Powerpuff Girls TV was scrapped and buried like a dark secret, the trailer has leaked online. And when I say leaked, I mean it's out there in the wild. Like some forbidden relic that should have never seen the light of day. Like 3 particular legendary Pokemon sleeping in a burned basement until somebody woke them up and now they roam the land. But let's be real, nobody's gonna be chasing this monstrosity. And watching that 3-minute trailer, all I can think is, somebody needs to be arrested. Like, somebody needs to thoroughly be investigated, because what kind of substance-fueled fever dream led to this monstrosity? Like, what exactly were they freaking snorting? They decided this was a good idea? Really? Now listen, I might be a 40-year-old gay man, but I fucking love the Powerpuff Girls. I adore it. It was a masterpiece of animation, a chaotic, sugar-coated, anime-infused, slapstick-fueled fever dream. And I'm not just saying that because I was a little teeny tiny gay boy, though that definitely probably has something to do with it. No, everybody loved it. My straight friends, obsessed. Your cousin who swore that he only watched Dragon Ball Z, he was definitely secretly tuning in too, don't let him lie to you. The love for Powerpuff Girls was universal. I remember when the Powerpuff Girls movie hit theaters, I marched straight up to my grandmother with full confidence and I told her, I need to see this. And she looked at me with this long, disappointed glare, the kind of stare that says, oh, so he's definitely going to be a queer in the future. And guess what? She was correct. But despite the fact that she was correct, she just didn't understand the brilliance of this show. The style, the action, the insanity of it all. But honestly, like, who was she to judge? Because this was the same woman that would buy me bootleg princess movies thinking that they were the Disney version. Like, bitch, why does this Pocahontas have a talking canoe? Get out of my face. And apparently, the CW also didn't understand the brilliance of the show either, otherwise this thing would have never been made. Let's talk about it. We're gonna break down the footage, dissect it, autopsy this absolute crime scene of a trailer, but here's the thing, I honestly don't even know how much of it I can actually show you, because even though last week a huge Marvel Avengers Doomsday leak dropped, and the internet barely flinched at this, and you know, the reason why is that the real threat is CW and Warner Bros. Themselves. They're in full panic mode. And they should be, because this is embarrassing. I mean, we're talking full-on copyright strikes, takedown notices, entire videos disappearing before your very eyes. Right now, if you look up any of this on YouTube or any other social media platform, you're gonna see a bunch of "this video is no longer available" messages popping up like ghosts in a fucking haunted house. That's how embarrassed they are. So because of that, I might have to just stick to still images from the trailer to avoid being copyright struck, or at the very least, just very, very, very short clips from the trailer, because some of them you have to see. But okay, before we continue, if you were lucky enough to witness this nightmare before it vanished from the internet, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Was there even the tiniest chance that this could have been salvaged? I mean, I personally don't think so, but I've also seen really bad trailers in the past that turned out to be fantastic products in the end, so like, who knows? Okay, we gotta rewind about 3 years ago, when we first heard whispers of an adult and mature live-action Powerpuff Girls series. Then we got the set photos, and we all collectively thought to ourselves, okay, let's see how this all plays out. Kinda nervous. What do they mean by adult and mature Powerpuff Girls? Well, then a script leaked, and we were like, oh my fucking god! Then it got cancelled, and we heard nothing about it, but we had no idea the real horror that awaited us, until now. Alright, let's crack this thing open. The trailer starts with the classic origin story, the one that we all know and love. Professor Utonium, now played by Donald Faison, I think that's how you say his last name anyway, whipping up the perfect little girls with sugar, spice, and everything nice. And of course, we can't forget Chemical X, I mean Twitter. Do you think Elon Musk had anything to do with Chemical X? Let me know in the comments. But then the trailer does something really bold. It actually acknowledges the weirdness of a grown man trying to create little girls in a laboratory. Like, why not just adopt? I mean, I did it. I'm sure he has the means to. Please, if you're listening, go to the local pound, and adopt a human child today. I will admit that I do think it's kind of nice that they brought Tom Kenny back as like the voice of the narrator, which is pretty cool, but like that's about the only positive thing I have to say about it. And I'll also admit it, in those first 20 seconds, I was nostalgic as hell. I was reliving my childhood for a minute, like sitting on the couch, watching Powerpuff Girls reruns, seeing the origin story in live action. Kinda cool, honestly. There were even a few Easter eggs for the real fans, like them taking down Fuzzy Lumpkins. That was kinda cool. And honestly, Powerpuff Girls had such an amazing lineup of villains. Is it Rogue Gallery or Rouge Gallery? I honestly don't know. Tell me in the comments too, because I am dumb despite, being a paleontologist. This show could have had such an amazing array of villains like Sedusa, him, or the kindergarten princess. I think she was just called Princess. I don't know why, but when I was like 13 or 14, seeing a bunch of like super-powered kindergarten girls beat up another kindergarten girl just was like so hysterical to me. Maybe it's, I don't know, child violence is funny. I'm sorry, it is. Not in real life, honestly, just in these hyper-fictional scenarios. I was honestly willing to give this thing a chance, but then, at the 23 or 24 second mark, we get the most CW thing imaginable. Mojo Jojo! The evil, maniacal, hyper-intelligent ape, the iconic Powerpuff Girls villain. Oh no. No, we can't have that. We can't have nice things. Instead, they give us some guy named Mojo, who has a son named Jojo. I swear to fucking God, I got so angry. Like, this thing wasn't even made, and I was so angry.
Get the f*** off the TV. I'm not watching that.
I mean, like, come on, I kinda get it. Like, movies in the past decade or 2 decades have taught us that using live primates on set can be kinda dangerous. But hello, we live in the 2020s. Everything's on fire anyway. Might as well throw an ape into the equation. And if we can't have a real ape, we have CGI. Bad CGI exists for this exact reason. And even bad CGI would have been better than this, but nope, this is the CW. I should have known better. And then we get to the real horror show. The girls are older now, which is fine. They've been fighting crime their entire lives, and now they're different, like we all are. And listen, I'm not even gonna lie to you, of all the things that they did wrong, Blossom's character makes total sense. She's stressed, she's worried about the SATs, she's trying to get into college, she wants to be the very best like no one ever was. That totally tracks. But then we get to Buttercup. Buttercup, the rough and tumble tomboy who loves to fight, get dirty, play sports, and throw hands. Oh, well, no, forget that. She's like a walking Tumblr discourse thread. She refuses to wear a dress because it's gender normative. Like, girl, okay. Like, Buttercup was rebellious, yeah, but not in the, like, let's have a 30-minute argument about gender norms way. I'm all about breaking gender norms. I'm a queer man. I am all for that. But I just don't see Buttercup getting preachy that way. She gets fisty. By the way, I know what you're thinking, and you better get your mind out of the gutter. And I know a lot of people are, like, complaining about her race again, but, like, I honestly don't care. She is a fictional character. She can be black, she can be white, she can be Asian, she can be purple. I don't fucking care. Like, black characters exist, and representation is good.
Race?
All I care about is that this personality is not Buttercup's personality. This is not Buttercup, and it has nothing to do with her race. And anyone who has a problem with Black Buttercup can get fucked, because honestly, this trailer has much bigger issues. For instance, we get to Bubbles. Sweet, innocent, happy-go-lucky Bubbles. Yeah, no, she's a whore now. Like, I'm all about sex positivity, but oh my god, I don't even know what to say. Like, this shocked me. And I'm not a prude by any means. They turned her into a hot mess express, and she could literally drink Lindsay Lohan under the table. Like Michelangelo before her, she's a party dude. She's drinking, she's partying, she's throwing kinky one-liners that I refuse to repeat because I'm still trying to process the psychological damage that inflicted. And like, let's be real, I've probably done much worse in my 20s and 30s, but like, come on. Like, I grew up with like I grew up with Bubbles. She was my little girl, you know? I don't want to see my little girl turning into this. Whatever this is. It's really hard to see the people that you love go down a very destructive path, and that's honestly what this kind of feels like. I mean, she's like literally working on the street. Granted, not as a hooker, but, you know, selling merchandise on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, Bubbles wouldn't fucking do that. She wouldn't fall that low. But oh my god, this trailer gets so much worse from there. The trailer finally shows the girls using their powers, and oh boy, this is really bad CGI. When I saw those live clips or the setup clips, like, I was hoping for the best, and this was absolutely not what I was hoping for. And I will get into that when we return. Did you know that I refuse to buy anything brand new? Whether it's clothing, collectibles, Pokemon cards, or even video games, I almost always go for secondhand deals. I mean, I am an environmentalist first and foremost, and that's why I got rid of my merch line, because I refuse to have anything to do with fast fashion. Also, when it comes to YouTube sponsors, I've made it a point only to accept ones that I actually use or completely believe in. And Macari is one of them, and I can attest to that because I've been a member of theirs since 2019. You might not know this, but I've been running a used gaming shop and Pokemon card shop on Macari for over a year after 5 years of just strictly buying on the platform. And with very little effort, it's made me about $11,000 in the last few months, basically the same income as a second job. I'll usually buy video games or even Pokemon cards in huge lots, and then I'll just sell the ones that I already have or don't want, and it's made me a huge profit. And that's not even something I was even originally trying to capitalize on, it just kinda happened. And unlike other selling and buying platforms, there is a lot more seller protection, unlike eBay. I've had terrible selling experiences on eBay. And here's the really fun part. I actually trade a lot of my fossil finds for rare used games. For those of you who might be new here, I am actually a paleontologist, and I find fossils all the time. So if you have any old video games lying around that you don't need, especially if they're for the Nintendo Switch or anything rare from the retro systems, or even some vintage Pokemon cards that you don't know what to do with, I'll trade you either a fossil dinosaur footprint or a Megalodon tooth for them. Email me at fossildaddy2@gmail.com and I would love to work something out with you. If you're curious about my Macari store, I'm gonna drop the link below, but here's something really, really, really cool. If you've never used Macari before, you can get $10 off your first purchase, no matter who you buy from or what you buy. But only if you use my referral code down below. Also, if you're interested in selling on the platform, they have an additional deal if you use my referral link, that you're going to get an extra $20 after you sell your first $100 worth of merchandise. So if you're looking to declutter, flip items for extra cash, or even save money on secondhand finds, like this Horse Pellet figurine collection that I totally didn't build using Macari. Okay, yes I did. Check out Macari and grab the extra savings while you're at it. And now back to our video. Alright, now that we're back, and listen closely because real fans are gonna know exactly what I'm about to say. Only one of the Powerpuff Girls has ice breath. And guess what? It isn't freaking Bubbles, baby. That's right, in Season 1, Episode 16, titled Eyesore, and don't ask me why I know that, it was revealed that Blossom had the unique ability of freeze breath. Not Bubbles, not Buttercup, just Blossom. Because the Powerpuff Girls weren't just copy-pasted superhumans. They each had their own unique gifts. That isn't to say that Bubbles didn't have her own unique ability, they all did. But it wasn't ice breath. Do you know what Bubbles' unique ability was? She could speak Spanish. She was bilingual. No, I'm not even kidding. That was her superpower.
You also each have your own special, unique abilities, like Bubbles being able to speak Spanish. Fuck! Well, it's almost time for school.
I think it's really funny that I can't remember half the name of my students, but I can remember that fucking Bubbles speaks Spanish. That knowledge is coming with me to the grave. And maybe even beyond. I just don't like how that this Powerpuff Girls trailer was completely trying to rewrite the history of the Powerpuff Girls. I mean, we had the 2016 reboot that already did a bad job at that. Like, we don't need to continue the trend. Also, something tragic happens in the trailer. They accidentally killed Mojo Jojo. Oh, actually, I guess just Mojo. Yup. And after that, Blossom just ran away in one of the funniest and most unintentionally hilarious shots I've ever seen. Just flying off into the night like she's in some kind of Lifetime drama. And Buttercup, she becomes a firefighter. You know what? That kind of tracks, I guess. And Bubbles, oh, I kind of mentioned this before. She's working the streets. Now, hold on, not those kind of streets. I already told you she's selling merch on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, what the hell? Okay. How is she so washed up and barely even 20 yet? Like, I don't get it. She wasn't a child actor, by the way. She was a fucking superhero. Like, what is she doing? Get back to work, Shirley Temple, and save the city. And then there's the dialogue, like, oh my god, the dialogue. It's like they were trying to be campy and cheesy, kind of like, I don't know, like those, like, freaking Descendants movies with a little more edge. You know, to mimic the original show, but at the same time, they were like, but hey, we're also taking the Powerpuff Girls in this new, dark, and mature direction. What direction? Definitely not One Direction. Zane, you're kind of hot, by the way. Sorry, my thirst is kind of, like, distracting me for a second, my bad. The end result is just a complete disaster. The tone is all over the place, and it just doesn't work. The only good touch, they brought back the original narrator, like I said in the beginning, Tom Kenny. Hello, we love ya. That's SpongeBob SquarePants, by the way. He was also the voice of the mayor in the original series, but I guess JoJo is the mayor now, and, no? What are you doing? No. Stop it. Get some help. We also got this, like, really weird glimpse of the only CGI in the trailer besides them flying, a single shot of some Mojo Jojo robot destroying the city. And that's frustrating, because if there was one thing that could have saved the show, it would have been bringing the Powerpuff Girls villains to life. Like, imagine him in live action. Like, imagine Sedusa, the Gangrene Gang, or, like, the Rowdy Rough Boys. There was so much potential there. Like, why didn't they use it? Also, where's Miss Bellum? Like, why is Miss Bellum getting so much hate in these remakes? Like, I don't understand it. And apparently at some point, Jojo, Mojo's son, was supposed to have some kind of, like, romance with Blossom where they fall in love. Yeah, like, the guy whose entire arc should be about avenging his father's death is, like, relegated to this will they, won't they romance. Like, no, I'm not here for that. It's so obvious why this show never made it past the pilot. It's so obvious why CW and Warner Bros. Are scrambling to erase the thing from the internet, too. Like, this isn't just bad, it's an embarrassment to the entire franchise. Almost as embarrassing as Donald Trump on the world stage. I love the Powerpuff Girls, and I always have and I always will. I still want something new from the franchise, but if they ever try it again, they need to do it right, like Kim Kardashian says. Kim Kardashian! They need to get off their ass and work. Give me something stylized, like an animated movie, something like TMNT Mutant Mayhem. That was a fucking great movie, by the way. You should go watch it. Like Black April Supremacy. I swear to God, Black April is the best April. And I do say that as a personal friend of Veronica Taylor, who voiced April O'Neil in the 2003 series. She was also the voice of Ash Ketchum, but honestly, like Black April from Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and also Mutant Mayhem, fucking love those Aprils. Also, Mojo Jojo's origin story was actually tragic in the original series too. It was an interesting dynamic between them, the girls, the Professor Utonium, and the rest of the villains. There's an amazing story to tell here. Not this whole, hey, what if Bubbles grew up to be a hot mess? No. But anyway, throwing it to you guys. Did you get the chance to see the trailer before it got wiped off the internet? Is my video still up, or has CW already taken me out? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe pray that we get a real Powerpuff Girls project someday in the foreseeable future. If not, definitely leave a comment, because that helps me out in the algorithm. Bye!